So obviously, had a great weekend so far with the kids. We were at the park yesterday. I'd done a video at the park. Probably gonna go eat something to eat tonight somewhere. Anyway, it's as I said, a huge relief. One, the way the horses are racing, and two, not having to quarantine. It's a great feeling. You know, it almost feels like you're out of jail for the weekend. I don't know, but it feels great. So I'm sitting here at the barn. Amy's got some work to do with White Tiger and checking the horses out. And I had looked at a couple of the horses that I wanted to look at down at Harry's barn, Kevin's barn, Johan and Spirit of Dio. After I trained them down in Shed Row 12, wanted to look at them. Everything looks good. So we're going to go through the 3-year-olds list now. I had a great question yesterday from a client who said, "Why is Inland Beach in a claimer? I don't want to lose her in a claimer, and I don't know why she'd have to race in there." It's a very fair question. So the reason that we have condition claimers is to cap the money. So the difference between a straight claimer and a condition claimer is, so Inland Beach's class would be a 15,000 claimer. You could claim her for 15,000 plus her allowances, which is 75%, which is 27.5 for that filly to claimer. And then on top of that, it's capped out by purse money earned. So it'll be now 15 claimer for non-winners of 20, non-winners of 40, non-winners of 60, whatever. The reason that's important, and the difference is straight claimers don't have those caps. So you might have an old horse that's 10 that had just a great career, that is kind of trying to find himself into a condition class or a claiming class that he can do some good in. But it's not very fair to race Inland Beach, who's got, what, 20 grand, 19, 18 grand, whatever, in against a horse that might have $250,000. So that's the difference between a condition claimer and a claimer. The reason those condition claimers are important is because there's only a certain type of horse that's in there. Those condition races, anybody could drop in there at any time at all. And it makes it very difficult, especially when you're not racing for a lot of money, to race Inland Beach against the non-winners of 2 company. It's very hard for a horse like her. So we opt to put her in that condition claimer grouping. It keeps a consistent level of racing every week, and it gives her an opportunity to do some good. Now, especially her, since she was sick, coming off a sickness, scratched her last start, so we needed to find a class for her that she could do some damage in, and that is why she ended up there. Same as Sebastian Yu in the Meadows. I could have won the non-winners of 2 in hindsight that raced the same day that she raced, but we opted to have a consistent level playing field and race him in the condition claimer. Same place we put him this week. Now, I suppose the downside of that is, you're right, they can claim the horses out of those races. But I don't think if anybody came to the track right now and offered us 25, 24, 20,000 for Inland Beach, we wouldn't have a serious conversation about that. So it's not that we're taking less for the horse than she's worth. That's what she's worth, or less, for that matter. So there are other horses on this list that will end up in the condition claiming ranks, but for now, Inland Beach is definitely staying there. Sebastian Yu, we'll see how he races Wednesday. He's on a race by race basis. He's on a short leash, as they say. So we're going to keep a real close eye on him. So we're going to go through all the horses. I'm going to give you a little heads up of where they're at, what they're doing, what we foresee them doing in the future. AL Sun is a horse also that could end up in the condition claimer ranks. I like this filly. She's tried at 56, 57, 58. But in that condition claimer at Northfield, her claiming price would be 20-some thousand American, close to 30 Canadian. I think that's more than enough for Ailsun. So you'll probably see her use some prep races. Yeah, we're going to give her another crack at the Buckeye and see how she does. Last week, you know, not very often you'll see me slough off or say, it's not a big deal when they make a break, because it is. But her break the other day, I don't really believe that she meant to make that break. I think that was an unfortunate set of circumstances in a short time frame. In the turn, coming up to the gate, she's focusing, and I was just trying to get her to settle, and she just kind of spooked, not really from anything on the track. She just kind of spooked a bit and rolled off stride, come back trotting, was fine after. And when I see horses do that, I'm more apt to say, that wasn't a big way flat. That wasn't a big deal. But it wasn't. So Ailsun's going to race next week. She may find the condition claimer ranks, which would be much easier for her. It's all about winning, right? We're trying to, at this point in time of the year, we got our 2-year-olds to the races. They're educated. Our 3-year-olds are educated. We know what they can do, what they can't do, and we need to put them in appropriately. Mario did a good job with Inland Beach finding the condition claimer for her this week. I thought, even coming off the virus, I thought maybe she should have won yesterday, but Every horse a little bit different, but I do expect a better outing from her next week. So Ailsund, she's going to be racing in Northfield Park in the condition ranks again. She may find herself into the condition claimer, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Arctic Force is racing yesterday for you at Batavia. Now I got a little bit of an update when it comes to Arctic Force. I told everybody probably going to send this horse to Batavia and just let him relax. And I had a number of people I could send them to. I'm just telling the kids to be quiet because Addie's actually sleeping in the back. So there's a number of people we could have sent to, but the problem, yes?
Can I get in?
Okay, quietly, okay? You two, watch your nose. The problem with that whole situation is that it appears that Batavia is walling itself off from the rest of New York. When you look at, so not a lot of people are talking about this yet. Okay, guys, quiet. Not a lot of people are talking about this yet, but
she was faking it.
Shh, she wasn't faking. You guys woke her up. That's fine. Just stay quiet. When it comes to New York, it's reliant heavily on the casinos. And the casinos, the operation side of the racetracks in New York, a lot of them are running out of money. That's the reality of it. The casinos are not open yet. So when they open, the racetrack will be fine. But they're not open yet. So even tracks like Yonkers, Tioga, they're not racing for much money. And I can't keep Arctic Force and Bottle of Red to race for $3,400 and draw the outside. I just can't do that. It's bad business. So I looked around, and it actually turns out that there's a good class at the Meadows, where we're having a good run anyway. There's a good class at the Meadows for Arctic Force. So I think Arctic Force will go from Batavia today, and where I told everybody he's going to stay, he's not. He's going to go to the Meadows with Tim Twaddle and be entered for next weekend. Shh, she's in the field. I'll get to her in a second, honey. So Arctic Force will go from Batavia today and head to the Meadows for Tim Twaddle. Bottle of Red will get her shipped up also. It makes more sense. I looked in Ohio. There's not a lot that. Now, the Meadows will allow us to race there. Keep in mind, Pennsylvania owned and bred is king in Pennsylvania, but those classes aren't relegated. I looked last week. That cap, that security blanket for Pennsylvania was not left on. So it appears both Bottle of Red, Arctic Force, who are New York bred horses, will be able to race in Pennsylvania. The classes in Scioto that horse could race in, yes, the classes in Scioto that horse could race in are capped. So it's very difficult to get in there right now because there's so many of them. So it looks like Arctic Force and Bottle of Red are heading to Tim Twaddle at the Meadows. You heard it first here. I'll probably update everybody.
Tim Twaddle.
I'll update everybody today, but you guys are hearing it right now. I know it's Mark Weaver's birthday. I know, we wished him a happy birthday. So, that's Arctic Force. Beach Boutique is racing. You know your job. Beach Boutique is racing. You woke her up. Beach Boutique is racing fantastic at the Meadows. Winner last week. She's back in to go Tuesday, I believe. There was a little miscommunication, and God loved him. You know, he does a great job, and he thought that because I was there that day that I had to drive Captain's Maid and Beach Boutique. I am the majority owner of Captain's Maid, and I don't have to drive Captain's Maid. Aaron Merriman gets along great with her. Why would I need to drive her? I tell you guys all the time, I believe there's a role for me to play when it comes to our trotters, especially our 2-year-olds in Ohio and Pennsylvania. But when it comes to a horse like Beach Boutique, you don't take Dave Pallone off Beach Boutique for Anthony McDonald to drive. Anthony McDonald knows that. So now Tim knows that also. We switched them. I told him to take me off and put Dave on. I'm happy to drive if you need a driver, but we don't need a driver for those horses. We have Aaron back on, and I didn't realize until after that he had listed me on Stonebridge Simba tomorrow. Whatever. We've had the conversation now. I'll talk to Aaron tomorrow. I'll drive Stonebridge Simba tomorrow, and then after that it'll be back to Aaron, unless Aaron doesn't want to drive the horse, in which case that'll be up to Aaron. So Beach Boutique racing great right now, coming off a lifetime win, look fantastic. I think you're going to see an even better Beach Boutique this week. Beach Bum BB is maybe the opposite side of that. I talked to Brandon. He said, second start on Lasix, she should be better, but she finds it, it's difficult sometimes. You can't always do good. And when you don't race for a ton of money, you really can't be hoping for next week's. You should have a race for a horse that can do well. Indiana seemed to be the best place for her to be. It's not like I can take her back to Ontario and find a spot for her. There isn't one here. So if she doesn't race a lot better on Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday she's in, she doesn't race better and Brandon doesn't give me much of an optimistic update, then we're going to have to look at maybe putting her up for sale and moving her. And again, this is a conversation I need to have with our clients and own that. I know Barb and Mo especially own a big piece of Beach Bum BB, but at the end of the day, Oliver, you can only do what you can do. So we will see how Beach Bum BB does on Wednesday. Bottle of Red, I just told you about her. She was coming off the virus. I don't think she's entered yet. She'll be entered this week. She's going to Pennsylvania. I haven't even told Tim yet this, but I know that he said he had lots of room. So Beach Bum, our Bottle of Red, and Arctic Force are going to Tim Twaddle at the Meadows this week. Brushcut, I know a lot of people are not here. Brushcut, and they're like, what about Brushcut? Brushcut's getting healthy. He's going to race right here with Kevin until Kevin says, hey, we're finding a tough class. It's hard to find classes for him. You know, and this is one thing I need you guys to understand. Remember, you heard it here first. And anybody, you should understand it anyway. Because, guys, because it was so hard to get these horses in all summer because all the horses are ready, the winter racing in Ontario will be the cheapest maybe I've ever seen this year. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Nothing. Not the race offices or anybody else. The horses are racing tough and will need a break. The ones that aren't racing good are going to be sold to the States. There's going to be shortages and weak races all throughout the winter. So that we're taking it easy with Brushcut right now, not a big deal to me. He's going to race all fall throughout the winter, and I think he's going to do good for us. Keep in mind, the best racing Brushcut ever made was in the wintertime. Right when we had him ready, when he was pacing, when he was coming from off the pace and racing in the maiden, racing well, that Brushcut's still there. He's sounder now than he was then. And these allergies might bother him a little bit, and the stuff with the airways, that's fine. And he was coming off the virus, sick now. That stuff will go away. As the fall creeps in, it gets a little cooler, you're going to see a much better form of Brushcut bounce up. And that's why I haven't been so, we got to get him in. Just take your time. I think Brushcut will find racing he can do well here. Kevin can spot him in places like Kawartha or even Grand River if he thinks he can get around there. You know, the odd race at Mohawk. You know, wherever he wants to race him, I think he'll be just fine. Just going to take a little time. So that's what's up with Brushcut. Canadian Cabernet, I didn't realize Harry had been training her so hard. He told me he'd been in 14 with her the other day. I really thought he'd been like 35. So Cabernet is training down. She's going to be ready soon. Canadian Titan is not. She's in the field. She was injured. She's going to need some time off. We'll bring her back. We'll start her back. We want to make sure she's 100% before I start her back. So whatever date I tell you will be completely contingent on the veterinarian saying, yeah, you can start back with Canadian Titan now. I would suspect that's going to be at least another 60 to 80 days from now. Capistrano, drew good again, I see. Just can't hide from these piss poor, excuse my language, can't hide from these bad positions. And Capistrano drew 8 again. Just very frustrating, the entire situation with her. We're trying to get her back on track. It's very difficult to do when you don't get in at Woodbine, then you have to go down to Georgian. You know, they draw, and here's the problem I have. They drew Georgian before they drew Mohawk. So we entered at Georgian, found out she get in, and then lo and behold, there was a class we could have raced her at Mohawk. Put yourself in my position. We forego Georgian. We don't put her in at Georgian. And the class doesn't fill at Mohawk, then we don't get to race this week. This filly needs to be on a consistent racing schedule and needs to not draw 8. Those are the two most important things she needs right now. Compass Rose DC race great. She's coming off 2 breaks. I said to Jason, we could go to another fair. You know, it doesn't matter if she runs again. She's still eligible, flat line in 45 days to race in the Buckeye next week. Just put her in to qualify. And the reason we were going to do this was I couldn't go and drive her, Ava. I couldn't go and drive her in the next fair. So I had to go to the Meadows. So it was either put somebody down to drive her and hope she got around, or just simply put her in at Northfield Park to qualify on Thursday. I'd like to get a mile in 57 or 58 into Compass Rose DC and spend that money anyway. So yes, we're going to go back to the fairs probably the week after, but for now, let's just qualify them, Abe. Let's just qualify them on Thursday. Don't believe me, just watch. I don't know if Kevin's going to qualify him once more or he's going to race him. He looked a little flatter to me the other day than he had the week before. Now James had just covered him up. Sylvain had actually raced him the other day. I think either a qualifier or straight into a race. And I don't know where Kevin's going to put him, but a condition claimer for him would make more sense also. He's got 1 win. He's not going to be able to fit in the grassroots. They go in 51, 52, 53, and he's not ready to go there. To believe that he can just come off of an injury layup for a long time and be able to race in the straight numbers or 2 is also not likely, not realistic. So I think it's probably best if he aims for the condition claimer with Peanut his first start, but we'll see. Emerald Miss, another horse ending in the condition claimer, ended up in the condition claimer. She's in Wednesday, 6-5. She happens to win that race, which I hope and believe she can. Then we have another discussion. What's that?
Where's Peanut at?
He's down in Kevin's barn, honey. So Emerald Miss will be racing Wednesday. Anytime you open the program and you're 6-5, you go behind the gate and you're 6-5. It's better for everybody involved. Yes,
Can I
honey?
take Addie out of her seat?
No, we're leaving here in a minute. So that's where we're at right now with Emerald Miss. Who else do we got? Next, we got Frontier Cruise. Kevin said he trained him in 59. He was good. Still a little pinchy on his left hind, and he doesn't really know what's going on with him. There's a highlighter on the other side of that. Don't let her pull that cap off, honey, please. So Emerald Miss, Frontier Cruise has been in 59. He'll be in to go this coming week. Globetrotting trained fantastic Friday morning. I trained her in 57, about 58 Friday morning. Very strong, finishing up. She's getting very close to being as good as I've seen her in a while. So I think you'll see even a better mile out of her on Friday night in Columbus at Scioto Downs. Harness AM, she'll race Saturday. Now somebody said, well, could we not get a race for her before the Stallion Series? No, we couldn't, or she would have raced. It's not like we're like, we're just going to give her a week off. No, that didn't take place. We entered her, she didn't get in. That's the class that plus we couldn't race her because they write the numbers 2 on Wednesday. We're certainly not going to race her Wednesday back Saturday. That's a little tough. So I think it was more probably a smarter mile. I would think that now that I say it out loud, Tim had asked me to come and train some horses Tuesday morning. I'm going to stay overnight Monday. I suspect you're going to get a report that Harness AM. Find the cap right now.
I'm trying to.
Now. You're going to probably get a report that Harness AM and Path of Totality both trained Tuesday morning at the Meadows. If I can see the writing on the wall now what's going to take place. So we'll train them in 2 minutes, nice easy mile on Tuesday, and then back Saturday they should be ready to rock. Hometown Boys finished 5th or 6th last night. I actually thought he looked a little flat, but coming from off the pace and the straight numbers at 2, it's tough. You have people that you want to see him get better and better and better, but he's going to have days where he isn't as good. He's not ready to trot in 55. He's not ready for the grassroots, and maybe he never is. Maybe we just have to find a class where we can do good with Hometown Boys. I think freeing up Kevin's dance sheet, so to speak, and saying, listen, you put every horse where it can win. Condition claimer, conditioner, it doesn't matter what we want them to be, what we thought they were, put them in where they can win. And I think that makes things a lot easier for Kevin also. I'll play it alone. First start on Lasix on Tuesday, I believe. Maybe Wednesday. Tuesday, I believe. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. But this will be his first start on Lasix. He bled last week. Inland Beach was third. Third the other night. Yesterday at Kawartha Downs, raced well. Thought she could have won, but raced well. Johan, I'm a little concerned with Johan on Tuesday. He's got the 10 hole, but he was a little grabbier than I'd like to see him the other day training. Is that because he's really sharp? Is that because he's a little aggravated? I'm not sure. But Johan is going to race for Jody Jameson out of the 10 hole on Tuesday. Just for Me and You took her lifetime mark the other day. Looked really, really good doing it. I was very, very happy with Just for Me and You, especially since we threw all that. She made a break and we said, I put the hobbles on her. Then to see her come out and race as well as she did with the hobbles on, I was very, very happy for everybody. Don't make faces, just find the thing.
I'm trying.
Knockdown, drag out. Mario said, I got to try and get her under control. I said, really? You find her a little grabby? Never seen her like that before. The reason that I'm nonchalant about knockdown, drag out is knockdown, drag out to me is a complete waste of talent.
No, she is not.
Yes, she is so.
No, she is
She
not.
is a nice filly that could be a very, very nice filly. She is the quintessential. We all grew up with somebody that was an amazing athlete, but just squandered it. We all know somebody like that. Every one of you knows somebody like that because she's like that. She was a filly that had the world in front of her and chose to squander it. So now she's a non-winners of 2 filly. That's a nice filly. Tried a 32 on the end of it. Somebody said to me the other night she was better.
Are you selling her?
No, we're not. That's another discussion for another day. But knockdown, drag out, 28, 56, 125, 157. That's what it's come to. So it's unfortunate, but every horse is different. And I see, I was just talking to Mario's wife about it, and she said, You know, I said to her, I said, Sebastian Yu was every bit as crazy as Knockdown Dragout at 2. Do not play with it. Find the top.
I'm trying.
Well, I told you not to lose it, and you did anyway, so find it.
Can you
Knockdown.
help me?
Oliver, help your sister, please, honey. So, Knockdown Dragout. I don't want to talk about it. She finished second. I hope she wins. I hope she does great for everybody. But for me, all I see when I see Knockdown Dragout is a filly that could have been anything and chose to be very little.
Turn
So,
it on.
I hope she wins this week. I hope she takes a mark of 56. I hope she puts some money on her program. And there's nobody cheering for Knockdown Dragout more than me and the clients and for the clients that own her. Great people. You know, had quite a roller coaster with this filly. Nice. Quite a roller coaster with this filly. And it is what it is. Miss Brampton Beast, we have her turned out again. I told everybody we were going to do this. If there was horses that had real issues with allergies, we were going to turn them out. And we have all summer, and we continue to.
Adeline, stop.
Don't be angry because your sister's annoyed because you're annoying. That's the way it is. Addie Bear, what's wrong, honey? Want to play with the mask? Want to wear a mask?
Dad, no one wants to wear a mask.
Well, you're going to have to at school this year. So Miss Brampton Beast is out in the field just chilling and wait until the heat dies down. We'll get her revved back up. There's no concern with that. I don't know. Everybody's like, well, it's a waste of the summer. Okay. So she races hard in the summer. She does okay. We muddle through the summer, and now she's tired for the fall when she could have been racing good. I think it makes much more sense to forego the heat, get rid of the allergies, race her in the fall, and have a much better filly because 1, she's fresh, and 2, she can breathe. She already showed that she can go. She took a mark at 54 and raced well at Georgian. That horse, matured, fresh, sound, and ready to go in the fall when those races are going to get watered down, it's the best kind of horse we're going to have for the fall. Muscle Chrome, I'm going to turn her out a little bit for different reasons. Ava?
Patty, I can't find the highlight.
Well, I'll make you a deal.
Yeah.
You're not coming out of the... You can live in this car for the rest of your life till you find that cap. How's that? Because I warned you 1 minute before you lost it that you would lose it. So that's the way it is.
Where could it have gone?
Well, I don't know, Ava. I don't know what to tell you. So Muscle Chrome, just going to give her some time. I mean, honestly, she's worth nothing as a racehorse. $0. So she could get better. She's eventually going to win a race somewhere. I'd like to have her sound and happy and grown up and filled out and matured, put real good money on her card, put a mark on her, and breed her. I mean, from me looking at the program that she offers, I think there's lots of breeding there. She's got a lot of money and a lot of speed in that pedigree. So I think I would like to breed Muscle Chrome. I'm not a breeder. I have no interest in breeding. But I think I would like to breed Muscle Chrome. So that's where we're at with Muscle Chrome. It's where I've been. And, you know, by the looks of people selling shares for $40, $50, $60, you guys have figured it out too. We've done everything we can, and I think she'll mature and get better and take a mark. But I don't know when that'll be. So Muscle Chrome for now, we're just trying to go easy with her and let them... Again, as I said to you, the racing will thin out and get very slow this winter. I think it's probably worth capitalizing on that with every horse we can. Another horse talking about this, Nancy Allison. I saw Nancy train yesterday. She trained very good. The jog cart 210. They're probably going to train her at Mohawk in 58. See if we can get her back on track. Problem is, I'm not here. Now, I do have a number of updates for later on. I'm not here. I did get my quarantine exemption. I am in talks. Hopefully, send emails in talks. Send emails out to Woodbine about when we're going to get back. Things are going to have to get back to normal. The border will open up at some point, and we are going to have to deal with people that cross to the U.S. and come back. This isn't just an Anthony McDonald thing. This is a tip of the sword of society, so to speak. I do go to Ohio. I do come back. I would like to race. How you deal with me is going to dictate on how we deal with people moving forward. So it would be nice if I could come back and either James or I drive Nancy Allison. She's not a very nice horse to drive. Very difficult filly to drive. And not something you want to say to yourself, you know, have somebody say, hey, what do I need to know about Nancy Allison? Oh my God, do you got 10 minutes? So hopefully I can get back and we can get Nancy Allison going. Adeline, Ava, and Ollie, whatever you're playing, turn it off right now and play with your sister. And I hope I did not just see you pick your nose on video.
I did.
Yeah? I can go back and rewind and find out if you did. There's no point lying to me. So... Need Your Opinion is in to go this week, I believe. You know, it was a bit of a controversy last week not racing on the grassroots, and I wholeheartedly supported Kevin in his decision not to race on the grassroots. I know there's people out there that think she can get around a half, she should have been the grassroots. She's not, because she doesn't belong racing against those grassroots fillies on a half-mile track. She draws outside, she's going to get butchered, and I don't want that for her. I think this is going to be a good filly for us moving forward. She is likely going to make the grassroots semifinals, which are going to be at Mohawk. Her next starts at Mohawk, and if we desperately need the points, fine. Then we can go race her in Hanover on a half-mile track, but I'd rather not do that. So that's where we're at with Need. Your opinion, that's a decision that Kevin has made, and I agree with him wholeheartedly on that. Path of Totality was absolutely tremendous. Her last start got robbed. For a filly that can trot in 55 and be soundly defeated in a Stallion Series event, that's a little unfair. 55 for a 3-year-old trotting filly in a grassroots second-tier event, a little unfair. She's going to try again next Saturday. We're going to train her up Tuesday, I would imagine. That's what it's going to come to. And then we will race her Saturday at the Meadows. Really, Blue Chip has turned out. I told everybody enough's enough. We turned her out in the field. I need 200 pounds on this filly. I do not want to see her until it's on. Until she has 200 pounds put on, I don't want to see her again in the barn. So we bought some supplements for her. They're supposed to work really well. We got her in a big, big field out there playing, eating grass. I want to see this filly put some weight on, put some muscle on, come back in, and then we're going to see what Really Blue Chip's made. Then we'll see what Path of Total, or what Really Blue Chip is made of. Don't make me put you up for adoption when I'm home for 2 days. Anyway, Rooney Blue Chip's a bit of a trickier situation. His knees are bugging him. We have him back in Ohio. I guess we're going to take it day to day, week to week, race by race with this guy and see what comes of his issues. It's very difficult for me to talk about turning him out and letting these knees fill in. If I do, it's going to be an Anthony show. It won't be a lot of clients wanting to wait on Rooney Blue Chip, and it's very difficult in North America in 2020 say, we're just going to turn that 3-year-old out. You know, what's he got, 4,000 made? Pretty hard to turn a horse out to 4 at 4th. If I have to, I will. I mean, I don't think we're going to get fair market value with him, with breaks on his lines, and unless he goes out and qualifies at Northfield, which is difficult for him. No good on a half-mile track, but I can't get him qualified anywhere else. Unless I ship him 3 hours to Scioto to qualify in the morning. That's unlikely. If I have to, I will. The Meadows, I can't. I have to be at Northfield this Thursday morning. So unless we go with him a little bit Wednesday and decide he's not going, or I warm him up for the qualifier and decide he can't get around this track, I'm not going. That's where he's going next Thursday, is in to qualify, hopefully, at Northfield Park. Sebastian Yu was fantastic last week. We talked about the importance of the condition claimers and using that
Dad,
to our...
I can't find it.
No, yeah, you can. You're not leaving here until you find it, so...
Then why don't you help me?
Why would I help you? I told you not to take it because you'd lose it, and you did just that. So you have to find it. So, Sebastian Yu, I talked about the importance of the condition claimers in this respect. Use those brakes. We know he's better than them. Use those brakes to our advantage and just jam him. Make him win easy, because a horse with confidence is a scary horse. And I think a couple of wins in this class, and Sebastian Yu could be good. Somebody wants to claim him? Fine, go ahead and claim him. Tell me how you like him, because it took us quite a while to figure him out. So good luck with that. Sebastian Yu is in to go and pick to win on Wednesday. Spend that money. We changed a ton of equipment on her. She's really changed as a horse. This fair, I'm telling you, the confidence they put in her is amazing. We put aluminums on her. I'm really eager to qualify her Thursday at Northfield to see what takes place. I think this filly's sitting on a big transformation. Spirit of Dio, I trained her out here yesterday myself when I was home. She trained very, very good. She's going to be in to go next Friday, I believe. I'm going to put Louis back on her because at least he drove her once and he'll see what she can do. She clearly was a little bit off, a little bit sick her last start. She appears to be back to being strong again. We'll see how she goes next Friday. Sunshine and Shade just refuses to be a nice horse, this horse. Just absolutely refuses to use his talent. And we see other people or other horses in the same boat. But Sunshine and Shade, I said to Mario, just put a couple of good lines on them and we'll put them up for sale. I think myself and all the people that own Sunshine and Shade, at least the vast majority of them, have just about had enough of the mediocre racing from him. You know, we can say, oh, he might have bled. Oh, he might have done this. Oh, he might have done that. Help your sister, sweetheart. But at the end of the day, the reality of the situation is he doesn't want to be a good horse. Fine, somebody else can play with him and be a good horse. If he doesn't want to be a good horse here, go be a good horse or a bad horse somewhere else. Trafalgar raced great her 2 starts ago, raced great last week, kind of get jammed up. And it's not just that Louis Waugh picked off of her to race. He then screwed her in the race. So he really screwed us, screwed her, and screwed himself, really. It was a tough day for Louis. But I think Trafalgar will bounce back good. Harry has been happy with her. She looks like she's racing well. Watch Avenue, I told everybody in a video the other day, it's hard to explain. He ended up with a foot issue, nothing serious. It was all cosmetic. The outside wall of his foot, he had lost a bunch of it because of sickness he had last year. Now, I guess I have to explain now that I said that. When you hold a high temperature for a while, you get, and horsemen will know this, you can see rings in the horse's feet called heat rings. And it's much like, I guess, a tree. You know, you see the hoof growing down. And when that ring gets to the bottom of the foot, that ring is actually very brittle and not quite strong enough foot. And that ring grew down on Watch Avenue. His foot, the wall broke apart. So we had to fiberglass up, take all that old hoof off, that rotten hoof off. It's not rotten, it's just very brittle and useless. Take it off, fill it in with fiberglass, and put the shoe back on him. So he had a few days off. He's back going now. I suspect to go a big mile Wednesday, and you'll see him Indigo soon enough. And Zeb Sunshine is Indigo tonight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at Georgian Downs. So that is all your 3-year-olds. I'll be back in a little bit with the 2-year-olds. I hope you guys understand where we're coming from now. Now it's the time of year. We know what the horses are. Let's race them accordingly. That's what we're trying to do our best with the 3-year-olds, and you see that on a day-to-day basis. I believe the Inland Beach race good yesterday, so that is the next wave of health coming through the barn. That sickness is left. Those horses were sick last week at the end of that cycle, so to speak, and now they're starting to come back around and look healthy. Very impressed with First Glance yesterday, and impressed with Inland Beach. I think she could have won, but she raced well, especially she's been off such a while. So that's where we're at with the 3-year-olds. I'll be back in a minute and talk about the 2-year-olds.